Hey, everybody! Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode.
Absolutely.
EFF Official Podcast. Woohoo! It's springtime, the sun's shining. This is awesome, Pablo.
Hell yeah.
As I said, his name is Pablo. My name is Todd. We are here to bring you excitement on what's going to be a fantastic show today from the EFF.
Absolutely, yeah. Make sure that you guys check out our social media there, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and the TikTok as well. And make sure you check us out on Podbean, Apple Music, and all the other various sources that I can't think of right now.
All of them. We're here for you, and we want to thank you. As always, our sponsors are 123go.io and Tabby Entertainment, and ExtremeFF.com is where you're going to find the website. On today's show, which is Season 2, Episode 5, Pablo, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We have a little bit of an update on the EFF Private versus Public Leagues.
Okay.
A very quick look on their last bonus podcast on the Dynasty Leagues out there.
Mm-hmm.
As always, we're going to chat on some NFL news. We're going to look at the top draftable wide receivers and tight ends.
Yeah.
And then our ever popular Pick One segment. And it's going to be a fun one. I'm going to have two, I think, today. I'm going to have two, though.
This is a pick one segment. You can't.
I know.
That.
Well, I have an honorable mention.
There you go. I was about to say.
All of that coming back to you in a little bit, so hang tight. All right. Hey, we are back again. This is excitement, man. The sun's shining. Just look at Paul. There's not even a cloud in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
This is beautiful. Beautiful. It's not warm, but it's beautiful outside.
No, yeah, it's a little bit chilly still, but we're getting there.
I am sporting the shorts today.
Nice.
I am.
I see that. You could go for a jog right now.
Me jogging is me to the Mediterranean and back, maybe. By the way, it's not very far. So, all right. So let's get in a little bit of chat here because some things are going to happen with the EFF private versus public leagues. I want to make sure everybody understands this and the differences that we have.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because we have some changes versus last year, so nothing too drastic, but I want to kind of go over them if we could for a second.
Right.
And this accounts for both the Blitz leagues as well as our exchange leagues. So they both fall into the same categories. All right?
Yeah.
So on the public leagues first, now we have 3 levels to subscribe to. We got the rookie, we have the pro, we got the Hall of Fame. All 3 of those allow you to receive our information, our data, our betting lines, all that kind of good stuff all year long, right?
Yep.
But now they allow you to have a certain number of games or leagues you can join. On the rookie, it's 1 Blitz and 1 exchange, and then on. So we'll get to all that later on. But
yeah,
they all have public leagues. Public leagues, there's unlimited number of teams that can be in those public leagues. So you could have a league with 10 or a league with 100, theoretically even thousands if you wanted to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the public leagues have unlimited number of teams in them.
Right.
Which is different you're going to find than in most leagues, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you subscribe, you can play in the lower level than what you subscribe to. You just cannot play in the higher level.
Right. So you can go to the Hall of Fame or you can go to the pro level and you can get a private league or a public league a public league in the lower levels from whatever one that you are a part of.
Correct.
Won't be an issue.
Correct. So if somebody is in the Hall of Fame, like you said, and they're more experienced and they're paying for the $100 level, and someone they know is in a public league on the rookie level, then the Hall of Fame subscriber can go down to the rookie level and play with that person.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Something that I want to throw in there as well is that just to establish the difference between what the private league and what the public league is, the public league is the one that you can join that anybody is going to be able to join. You don't need to have a group of friends. You don't need to send any codes out to anybody to join into it. You get to just join into these public leagues, and that's the one that you'll be able to play. That's the one that'll have some prizes and stuff like that. And then the public league or the private leagues are going to be the one that you create or your friend will create.
Yeah.
And then they will send you a code or you send out a code to your friends so that you can then, play matches with them, have your own little 1v1 or your group games or whatever it's going to be.
Yep. Exactly. So because we have sponsors, then even the rookie level on the public league will have cash and trophy prizes.
Nice.
So you could play for free on the rookie league, public league, and then you actually win some cash and some prizes and some trophies.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool, right?
Absolutely. Someone's going to do it.
Yeah. So why not be you, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. If it's going to be someone, might as well be you. So, but I want to migrate to make sure we all understand on the private leagues. This is a little different. And from a legality perspective, I don't want to get into legal stuff, but on the legality side of things, we need to have a difference. So we are simply a platform like you would use on an ESPN or a CBS Sports Line or a Sleeper or wherever else it may be. We're just the platform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So if you want to have some buddies of yours who want to play with our scoring and our private leagues, then if you are in the Pro or the Hall of Fame, you have the ability to create one of those leagues, right?
Right.
Okay. The big important thing here is there are no prizes available, no cash prizes available on a private league.
Right. Now, it's not a crazy change because most people, if they're playing in their own leagues, will set up their own stakes anyways.
Yes.
You generally work with your friends and figure out whatever is going to be the pot that gets distributed out.
Yes.
And that's going to be consistent with ours as well. There's definitely some legal issues that we became aware of when it comes to trying to give out public and private prizes. There's differences between those two of them. Public is easier for us to work with and try to find ways to accommodate, where private can get a little bit dicey and get in the gray area pretty quick. So,
yes,
unfortunately, this season at least, we are not going to be able to do private, and we'll have to see moving forward as well if that's going to be something that changes.
Correct. So on the private leagues, you can have as few as 2 people in them. So you can play head-to-head with 1v1 if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go unlimited to hundreds and thousands if you want to. It doesn't matter, right? So we will, if you get into a league that has 10 or more people in it, then we will create trophies for you. We'll get you a trophy, but we cannot give any cash or prizes of significant cash value on private leagues.
Yep.
So I want to make sure everybody understands that. It's a little different than we had in the past, but it's how it has to be. It's how it has to be. Good English. It's how it has to be going forward with that. So
yeah, and like we mentioned before, this is very normal for a lot of leagues and stuff. So
yep.
So all right. With that being said, let's get past that crap, all the legal asterisk, and let's move on to last week's bonus show. Briefly, we discussed the Dynasty League.
Just gonna do this little EFF drop right here because this was something we just did.
Yeah. So we just again very, very brief synopsis of takedown of what the Dynasty League discussion we had last week is all about.
So jumping into the format and doing some explanation and discussion about it.
So we got into this that the Dynasty Leagues are it's a way different beast than you're going to find in any traditional league.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the scoring and the during the season play is kind of the same as you're going to find in some traditional leagues. It's going to be the post off season. And I understand that you called me out last week that there's not really an off season.
Right,
you're right. There's not really an off season, but when the games are not being played, that's what we call the off season. So it's a way different beast. The players you're going to draft are way different. The values you put on the rookies are way different, substantially different.
Something that we talk about too is that there's the choices that you make when you're not in season are extremely valuable, and they change the entire paradigm of your league. You know?
Yep, that's very true.
Yeah.
So that's the important part here, and it arguably is the most advanced fantasy football format.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really recommended for anybody who's on the I'm not quite sure how to play fantasy football
Mm-hmm.
type of level yet. I mentioned last week, and it was like a master's or a senior level course in college. Definitely not a freshman course. So, but all of that is on our podcast that you're going to find on all those Podbean, Amazon, all those things.
Spotify, Apple Music. Yep.
All those. So hop back into that and check those out, and learn a little more about the Dynasty Leagues. And we will have a Dynasty League for us here.
Absolutely.
So we have a select number of spaces available. When we get to that point, we'll go ahead and maybe offer them to some of our listeners. And we'll see about all that going on. But again, we'll have our league. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get into the meat and potatoes here a little bit, because we got some fun stuff here popping out of the NFL news, which I've been messing around a lot of free agency podcast discussions recently. Listening to them all.
So all right, well then, as you may know, Russell Wilson finally made a decision, and he's going to the New York Giants.
Yeah.
So, hey, I guess it's good. The Giants are probably going to still pick a quarterback in the first round of the upcoming draft, in my opinion. So, what's your thought about Russell Wilson going to the Giants now, or they call him Big Blue?
I'm kind of losing my faith in Russell Wilson. But it's not because he didn't perform well last year. Like, I was actually very surprised that he stepped it up a little bit, and when he did step in the field for Justin Fields, I believe. Yep. And that was pretty good. I think he did a pretty good job, but I know he started to teeter off a little bit towards the end, and I feel like he just doesn't have the ability to go the distance that he used to before. So I think they're definitely going to need to bring in another quarterback that's going to be able to take over fairly quickly.
Right.
That's my general consensus here. I will say I would still give some faith to Russell Wilson. He's not a bad quarterback by any means.
No. In fact, I don't usually copy off of a radio station here in Detroit, but yesterday's discussion was interesting from the ticket here in Detroit.
Oh yeah.
Their discussion was, all right, Lions fans, would you rather have Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, or Hendon Hooker as your backup quarterback?
Ooh.
And I immediately, and I don't regret it, I said Hooker.
Yeah.
I'm not a Wilson or a Rodgers fan. I guess as a backup they would be fine, but to me they're way over the hill. And maybe if Russell can mentor the new guy coming in, possibly.
Yeah, and I would have to agree with you there. I think I'd be in the same boat, because ultimately, like, the likelihood, which is why you even had to say possibly here with the mentoring, because the likelihood that he can successfully mentor is not actually 100% here. It's a little bit dicey and thrown up that he'll be able to stick in it long enough, and he'll be able to kind of hand it back and forth, kind of play that game well with that other quarterback, and we'll see if he can. But yeah, I would go with Hooker in that situation.
Yeah, I would too.
Is that what the general consensus was on their radio?
There was a little bit of actually all three, I think, had a good number. I only listened to the show for a few minutes, so I didn't get a lot of details. But I mean, Hooker had more votes than I thought he would get. So I think people are ready for him to if he needs to. If Jared Goff, knocking on wood, if Jared Goff actually goes down, I'm okay with Hooker.
Yeah,
I'm fine with him. I have no problem with him whatsoever. Our team is built to bring that guy in, so I think this would be a good job. So again, that's the whole Lions thing. But so Russell Wilson goes to New York. Where does Aaron Rodgers go? He's still out there.
I don't know. I could care less. No. I think that he'll do some good stuff. I heard something about the Jets or something as well, with people thinking that or considering that.
That's where he was.
Oh, right.
That's where he was.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The rumor is still Pittsburgh, but
no way.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm so tired of Aaron Rodgers, so I just want him just to go away. Just go.
Well, so on the quarterback front here, let me throw some at you.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams or JJ McCarthy?
Okay. Well,
Yeah. This is a bit of one.
it is. And my next note here is what to expect from the last year's rookie quarterback. So I guess we
Right.
can go ahead and segue into that. So I like the offense that Ben Johnson is going to try and duplicate from Detroit in Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Caleb Williams can be that man, then I think what Chicago can put on the field is pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a homer, but I do think McCarthy, he was the 10th pick last year. Minnesota used a first-round pick, a top 10 pick on
Yeah.
McCarthy. So they are, in my eyes, they're set with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are invested in him.
Yeah.
You walk in as a quarterback and you have Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson and you got Hawkinson. Running backs, you got Aaron Jones. You got a really good defense, a really good offensive line. Maybe stat-wise, Williams may be better
Mm-hmm.
than McCarthy, but give me McCarthy and the Vikings any day over Williams and the Bears.
Yeah, and I think the key part there is bringing in the rest of the team into the equation because obviously we haven't got a lot of good data essentially off of JJ yet, so we'll have to see how he does this year. But since we did get to see him play in Michigan and we were both watching that season go because they made it to the championships, then I definitely have faith in JJ, and I think that he can do some good stuff. And I especially think that the direction that the Vikings are going in put him in a great spot to take the helm and really kind of make some stuff happen.
Right.
So we'll see if he can. I was actually listening to the Fantasy Footballers, and they were talking about how a lot of quarterbacks in his similar position for their second year are either hit or miss, heavy, either a really big hit or just not quite making the deal. So.
Okay.
We'll have to see how it goes for both Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy. They're either going to be real big or maybe not so much at all. But
so regarding that, so my next topic, again, going to who's going to drop off, who's going to go up and down. But let's just say that McCarthy is as bad, and again, Penix had a really good end of the season.
yeah,
If McCarthy is as bad as Penix was at the end of the season,
mm-hmm.
would that be sufficient enough if you're a Viking fan to be happy about the future direction of your quarterback? I think yes.
Yeah.
And I think McCarthy had a bigger upside in college than Penix did.
True. Yeah, I would agree.
So with all that being said, and I'm going to argue that the team is better.
Right.
Now, the Falcons got a pretty good team too, but I'm going to argue that the Vikings have an all-around better team.
Mm-hmm.
So if McCarthy can just do as well as Michael Penix did at the end of the season, I think Minnesota's happy
Right.
for a first-year time, right?
As long as nothing happens to Jefferson, I think that
Yeah.
McCarthy's going to be in a great spot to
Yeah.
kind of feel out the team a little bit,
I don't quite know why everybody is questioning McCarthy.
Yeah. Well, I understand a little bit. It is a risk. You have a quarterback that you have not got to see on the field going into a team that they have high expectations for. And so you want to see that he can meet these expectations. And that's a hard bet on somebody who was forced redshirted for an entire season.
Right.
So, or, he had one game or something like that. So, I understand the risk. But I agree with you. I think that he's absolutely a great player to go with. And I think he'll have the grit to pull through.
Yeah, and I feel that Minnesota, not only did they invest in a first-round top 10 pick in him, but they also let Darnold go.
Mm-hmm.
And if Darnold was going to be, all right, let's keep him for one more year, I don't know the salary implications and all that kind of stuff exactly right now, but
Sure.
if they would have kept Darnold for one more year and said, okay, well, let's bring in McCarthy slowly,
Mm-hmm.
then that kind of would have made sense too. I mean, I would have bought into that philosophy. But when you draft somebody in the top 10 and then you let go, you release a quarterback, or don't sign him back,
Mm-hmm.
who brought you to a 15-2 record,
Yeah.
you're invested in this rookie quarterback.
Right. It's all about confirming that he's going to be leading
Exactly.
the charge this season.
Exactly. So
Yeah. And I think that's exciting. I want to see him do it. I want to see it go well. I do have a little bit more faith in JJ than I did in Sam Darnold, but Sam Darnold did an amazing job. I think he was one of the top 15.
Yeah.
10
Oh no,
quarterbacks
I think he's top 10. I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And different stats, different things. Is it
Sure,
better to have a
right.
quarterback with more yards, more touchdowns, more interceptions, whatever, less interceptions,
Mm-hmm.
or just have a quarterback who can win?
Right.
Those are all different. What you want out there. So I'm going to give you again the 5 names of the top 5 rookie quarterbacks from last year, and you tell me just quickly. And if you want to give me a reason why, that's fine too. But
Mm-hmm.
will they go up or down? And I'm going to put it as wins on the team.
Okay, so
right.
then not just them in a vacuum, but their team that they're playing with.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. The wins of the team, are they going to go up or down?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears.
Up.
Okay. And reason why?
I think that they're doing some good restructuring this season, and I have faith that Caleb will kind of rebound a little bit this season as well.
Yeah. Now, as a Lions fan, I don't want them to get a whole lot better.
Right.
But I do think also that Ben Johnson is going to bring out some good things in there.
Right. And I don't know how much better, but I do have faith that it'll be improvement.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the other guy, Jaden Daniels. Now, can you get really any better than what he did last year?
Yeah, I mean, he would be a star player. So I guess the logical choice, which I can't disagree with right now, would be that he's going to drop. So
I'm going to say drop.
yeah, I think he's going to drop. But man, you called about last year that he was going to do incredible and be really good, and he was. So it's not that he can't make it, but it's just that he's got a high standard to meet this season.
Yeah, and I have a lot of belief in the sophomore slump.
Yeah.
And and you can look at Stroud as my example of that 2 years ago. His numbers were very similar to Jaden Daniels as a rookie, and last year he was better than average, but he wasn't. Oh my God, he's all that anymore, right?
Right.
Well, I think Jaden, and also you're playing in the Eagles against the Eagles twice, and that's going to be.
Yeah. I didn't look at the schedules yet. Okay.
Well, they're in the same division as the Eagles, so they're playing
Sure,
the Eagles
right.
twice, the Cowboys twice, and the Giants twice.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be going down a little bit. So I'll go down with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drake May and the Patriots. Patriots are one of the biggest winners in my eyes this year.
Yeah.
Off season.
They have done some really good stuff with their
Yes.
money.
Most of what they've done has been on the defensive side. I saw a stat today that New England has spent over a combined total contracts of $300 million
Wow.
this
Yeah.
year in the offseason. They just signed Stephon Diggs at a $369 million, so $23 million a year for a guy coming
Wow.
off an ACL tear.
Right.
So
Like
most
an older man coming off an ACL tear.
Yeah. And they got a new coach. They got rid of Jared Mayo and brought in Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is an awesome linebacker for Ohio State and also for New England in the days. And now he's the coach, and they've put a lot of money into the defense. So my thought process with Drake May is he's never going to be a super flashy quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I'm going to say they're going to go up on wins just because they invested a lot of money in defense, and Drake May will get better because of the second year.
So I'm not sure what the Patriots score was right now off the top of my head last season.
Their
So
wins?
Their wins, right. So I was trying to think about what that win-loss was, but if I had to put my number, or if I had to put a number on like the wins that they would have, I could see it being 10 and 11 for sure.
Oh, wow. That'd be a huge increase.
Well, that's why I was like, I don't know what they got
I
last
think
year.
they were five wins last year, I believe.
Okay, well then yeah, maybe 11 is a bit of a stretch, but maybe 10 is too. But I could absolutely see it, especially if they get something going with Drake May.
So again, look at who they're playing twice. They're playing Buffalo twice. They're playing the Jets twice, and Miami Dolphins twice.
Okay, yeah.
So there's your six of the 17 games against those teams.
Well, I mean, I could see them doing well against 4 of those 6 games.
I see that also, and
Right.
maybe if the defense works out, they might be able to beat Josh Allen at home.
Right.
So
I know that's what they would want.
yeah. All right, let's go to another one of my winning teams for offseason is Bo Nix.
Yeah, Bo Nix. That's
Bo
a
Nix
good one.
out in Denver. What's your thought about Bo Nix and the Broncos?
Ooh, I mean, he did really good last season, so that's
He
a
did.
high standard. But I'm hopeful on him, so I want to see him do better. I'm not exactly sure what the Broncos have been doing for their restructuring or free agency or what their draft plan might look like, but just on the stat alone, I think I could go well with Bo Nix.
So I think Denver is going to be the sweetheart of the AFC West. My thought process on the reign of the Chiefs is gone. Sorry, Chiefs fans. I think this is going to be a migratory switch. But Denver signed Evan Ingram, the tight end, out of Jacksonville.
Nice. That's good. Yep.
And they signed one of the most underrated linebackers. I mean, I guess if I asked you from the top linebackers, you probably wouldn't say Dre Greenlaw. But if you know who Dre Greenlaw is, he's a phenomenal linebacker. So, and Denver hired them. And I still think that Sean Payton has that quarterback whisperer kind of thing going on. So I think Bo Nix is going to do really well out there. And I think Denver is going to take the AFC West. I'm marking it down right now.
Yeah. I will say, if it comes to like a player to, I want to say start a legacy, but in this game, I feel, or in this like state of the game, I feel like legacies are a lot harder to come by than they used to be. So like maybe Bo Nix would probably just be starting like a few years of good stuff ahead. But I could put my money on Bo Nix more so than I would for, Drake May,
me too.
Caleb Williams, stuff like that.
Yeah. Definitely. And Denver's got an all-around better team than you're going to find in New England. So
True. Yeah.
And the last of the top five last year, I mentioned his name before, is Michael Penix.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
In Atlanta.
Oh man, Michael Penix. I was really down on him in the beginning of the season last year. I really had a hard time believing in him. So just because of that seed of doubt, I'm gonna say he's gonna fall.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you? That's because I have my fear of buyer's remorse, essentially.
So when I look at the teams in their division, so they could play Carolina twice, they play Tampa Bay twice, and New Orleans twice.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina is not a threat, even though Bryce Young, I think, had a pretty decent second half, and Chuba Hubbard is there now, as well as your man Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
Out there in Carolina, so I think Carolina has the makings of potential there.
Sure. Okay.
I kind of
disagree with that, or at least like vaguely.
Can't disagree against your guy Rico Dowdle.
I like Rico Dowdle, but I feel bad. I feel bad that he's on that team right now. I feel bad for the state that it's in, and so I know they're making progress. I know it's on up and up, which is great for him.
Right.
But I can't commit yet to it.
Okay. Hey, no shame there. The Saints, I don't think I have anything going on out there. Unfortunately, I'm a Saints fan, so
yeah.
So you got the Buccaneers. So can Atlanta beat Tampa Bay?
Right.
I thought they would last year. I was wrong.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get rid of Kirk Cousins. I could see Kirk Cousins going to like Cleveland. I'm thinking someplace like that.
Right.
But so I'm going to say they're going to go up. I'm going to double down, and I was wrong last year, but I'm going to double down again and say that Atlanta's going to win the NFC South. So if that happens, then I'm going to say they're going to go up.
Interesting. Yeah. I still think the Bucs would take it over them this year. I think that they're coming in as a real solid team right now. So,
okay,
yeah, I'll disagree with you there.
All right. That's why you're over there and you're the producer.
Right. I'm just the producer. I press buttons.
You are a phenomenal producer, by the way.
Talk a little bit.
That's awesome. And the other thing I want to talk about is quickly some of the pre-draft rising teams. We already kind of discussed New England and Denver. I also want to throw in that the Las Vegas Raiders are making some noise.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. I'm really glad. I like that they got Pete Carroll as the coach. And Pete's been around everywhere. He's been in New England as a coach. He's been in USC as a coach. He's been in Seattle as a coach. So he's in Las Vegas, and one of the very first moves they do, they sign Max Crosby, which is awesome. I wanted to see Max Crosby in Detroit, but that was kind of like a selfish pipe dream.
Yeah.
But he went back and got his quarterback Geno Smith out of Seattle. Now Geno is not going to light the world on fire. Okay, he's been around long enough that he knows his stuff. We know who Geno Smith is, and he probably won't change.
Sure.
So I don't see the Raiders being like, ooh, they're gonna, over produce, I
Estimate.
guess.
Right.
The Chiefs, and in my eyes, not the Broncos for sure. But I do feel that having Raheem Mostert out of Miami in Las Vegas now, and Geno Smith there, and the re-signing of Max Crosby, I think Las Vegas has the makings of a decent team, and I hope Max Crosby gets his flowers because he stayed with this team, and I was shocked that he stayed, but he's still there, which is great.
Yeah. I mean, we love that, and I think that it's really important to stick around for your teams. I mean, I know Steelers coach, when you stick around, Tomlin. Yep. When you stick around with the team for a long time, you can really start to, you understand the state of your team a lot better.
Right.
So it's easier to make like the right moves and stuff. But then too, it shows a little bit of loyalty. It makes it easier for the fans to stay on your team and stuff if they are a fan of your team already. So yeah, it's overall great stuff. Like to see more of it too.
And again, they are in a tough division. They have the Cardinals. Sorry, not the Cardinals. They have the Chargers.
Yeah,
LA Chargers for 2 games, the Chiefs for 2, and Broncos for 2. I just don't see the Raiders, jumping past Kansas City or Denver, and the Chargers, it can be tough also.
I was gonna say, it's a tough one there between the Chargers and the Raiders. If I was bumping the screen a little bit, if I was gonna have to choose between them,
Yep. So, all right, hey, why don't you play some of that funky rock music you have over there, Paul?
Oh yeah, we want the big stuff.
Yeah, get the big stuff here.
Nice.
And let's talk about some of these receivers and tight ends that are currently projected mock draft to go in the first round, and I have their ADPs.
Okay.
Now, ADPs is the average draft position that these players have been drafted throughout all of these mock drafts up to this point. We're roughly a month from now will be the actual NFL draft. So let's just chat about these, and let's kind of go through what we're looking at here with these receivers. I have 5 receivers and 2 tight ends are currently projected to go in the first round.
Yeah.
All right?
I was about to say a lot of receivers in it this season.
Yeah, 5 of them. Travis Hunter is currently the number 2 ADP.
Wow.
Now, I could see him being a phenomenal receiver, and I'm going to go on record saying he will be a receiver more than a cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
In my eyes, it's easier to be a receiver than it is to be a cornerback.
Yeah.
And I don't, from some of the people that I've been listening to and reading about are saying that his footwork as a cornerback is not as strong as Will Johnson from Michigan, who was arguably the best pure cornerback in the league in the draft. So Travis Hunter, to me, will be a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And which means it's going to go to, arguably the Giants, the Patriots, Browns, Titans are the ones who are going to get the first few picks. So Travis Hunter is going to be number 2
Interesting.
overall pick currently.
Man, when it comes to that cornerback or wide receiver situation, I have a lot of love for cornerbacks out here because it's so hard to do what they do.
Yeah.
It's just, being a wide receiver is not easy. You gotta beat the cornerback first of all, which is not easy. But then you have to figure out a way to catch that ball wherever the quarterback puts it, which is depending on where it is, might not be as easy as others. But the cornerback, they get so little control of the situation, and it's so much more costly as a quarterback, or cornerback. Like I remember when I played safety, you have pressure. Like if you make a mistake, you're the back line, and so a lot of times when you're the cornerback, just based on the plays that you're running, you might be that guy. And if that's you got pressure on, and you got to perform. And it's already hard because you don't have a route that you can just run and perform that route. You have to guard somebody, and based on the position or based on the lineup, based on what running back or wide receiver is in front of you, you're going to have a lot of different things that could change your state of your play as soon as it starts.
Yep. Yep. So I agree. I totally agree. So Hunter is currently ADP 2. Next one is Tet Aroa. I'm going to keep calling him Tet. So Tet McMillian, a receiver out of Arizona. He's currently number 9.
Okay.
ADP of 9.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Okay. The next is a tight end, Tyler Warren, number 14 currently on the ADP.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the guy is a phenomenal tight end when it comes to at Penn State. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play, but he's currently ADP of 14.
What do you feel about tight ends going in the first round? Is that often a thing?
I think in this league now, we've seen tight ends. Laporta came out of college, did well his first year. Brock Bowers was phenomenal last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the way that the colleges are developing the tight ends, I have no problem. I have zero problem having a tight end. And quite often, if you're a quarterback, that tight end is usually in the middle of the field.
Right.
So it's a quick read. If he's a hot route for you, quick read there. He's also eyes front kind of thing with that drop off the third, fourth, spot or player. So having a good tight end, it will save a lot of quarterback splits. So Tyler Warren, I have no problem with him being at 14. And also next tight end is Colston Loveland out of U of M at number 20. So there's two, and Colston Loveland has all the skill set you'd want also. Right. So you got 2 tight ends in the top 20 this year.
That does surprise me. I think that I feel like it's more of a state of necessity from the teams, because I think that tight ends were more so on the miss side last season than they were on the his side. And so I think that when restructuring your team, people are looking for the glue that's going to put things together and make it work, And I think people are looking for the tight ends for that glue. I'm not sold that that's going to be the right decision. I feel like you can pick a good running back. I feel like you could even, maybe not a quarterback just because of this particular draft situation, but but even still, go for defenses. I don't know. I struggle with picking a tight end first, just because I think that the tight end is so reliant on the quarterback in a situation in the league. You can't just shoe in Brock Bowers on any team and hope that he does really well, even though he is really good. You can't just shoe in George Kittle on any team and hope he does really well, even though he's really good. Yeah. And the reason being is because they have to work with their team. They have to develop this cohesion. They have to figure out where their spot's going to be. And sometimes they can just take control and run it down and lead the charge, but not often are you seeing a tight end making that impact on a game.
I totally agree. And when you're a tight end, you're not just, I guess there are blocking tight ends as well as receiving tight ends, but even a receiving tight end, you still need to block. It's the same thing as a running back needs to know how to block and pick up the correct blitz read, right? So those are all important things. And all these tight ends, they can block and they can catch. Now, I don't think anybody's going to be as good as Brock Bowers. Matter of fact, I went on, I tweeted recently, or I X'd. Is it Twitter? Tweet now? You X'd it? Whatever it is.
I'm still a fan of the tweeting, but that's
tweeting sounds more fun.
Right.
Yeah. I X'd. I X'd that Brock Bowers is going to be Tony Gonzalez like.
Yeah.
And anybody out there who knows Tony Gonzalez, I think, was the best tight end out there. I think Brock Bowers can be that. So
I'm trying to think of the team that Tony Gonzalez was on.
He was the Chiefs for a while, and then and then Atlanta.
Okay, yeah, I was back and forth between Chiefs or the Redskins, and I think it was just the jersey.
So if you get a guy who can be as good as Tony Gonzalez, you pick him in the first round. Now Tyler Warren may not be as good as that, but Tyler Warren can be as good as Brock as Laporta or Hawkinson.
Sure.
Or whatever. So I do feel that there is opportunity now with the tight ends. I probably wouldn't have said that 5 years ago, but I do think now the tight ends are getting more athletic than they have in the past.
I like that. I'm down for that.
I had last 3 are going to be receivers. Quickly, Luther Burden at 21, Matthew Golden at 22, and Emeka Egbuka at 26.
Nice.
So
you did a good job with that name.
I think I did it right. Any of you Buckeye fans out there, if I said it wrong, please let me know.
Yeah, go ahead, correct us.
So again, those are the receivers and tight ends. So we've covered quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and tight ends in the past 3 weeks on this podcast here. So
yeah,
so
absolutely, and it's some good stuff. I think that depending on the teams, these people could really shine more so than others. Right?
Yeah.
It depends on where they all pan out to go.
Yeah,
we'll have to see.
And like I said before, and I will do it. I'm not sure how to do it on the podcast or whatever, but I will make a mock draft, and I want to see how I do versus the Todd McShays and the Mel Kipers of the world.
There you go. Yeah, okay.
Because I want to see. I think I'm going to do better than they are.
I think it'd be fun to do a mock draft just for the heck of it.
Yeah. So, all right. Now let's go with this ever popular, world famous pick one segment.
Pick one.
Yeah, we need to figure out a cool soundbite for that.
Yeah, I mean, well, we were kind of using this one sometimes, so, we'll just pick one.
Pick one. All right, now, I'm going to go on record here by saying I'm going to pick 2.
Okay, all right. All right,
And
well,
if
now
you
we're
wanna
breaking the rules right away.
Well, I know, because I picked one, and then I was thinking about it, and I did a little research this morning, and I'm like, oh, but that one, that is a classic.
Right.
All right. So if you had to go watch any football-based movie right now, what would you pick and why?
All right, it would be The Replacements.
Okay. Great show.
Yep, great movie. Great lead actor.
Shane Falco, shout out.
Yeah, but more so played by Neo from The Matrix, and his name is blanking my head right now. He's so popular.
You mean Keanu Reeves' name?
Keanu Reeves, yes.
Keanu Reeves' name? Yeah.
Yeah. But so Keanu, right? He kills it. I really like the acting. It's got like a cute romance angle, but it's just hilarious. The actual football is so funny. The characters involved are hilarious.
Yeah.
And the game's fun too. I like the dramatic moments. I get down for it. It was between that or Remember the Titans. But
Remember the Titans. Okay, so my initial thought was Remember the Titans. So I'm gonna pick them because they came to my head first, right?
Right.
So we've all seen it. It's a great movie.
Left side.
Yeah. Well, now we're gonna do a favorite movie line quotes next week, right? So that's a great movie, and Denzel is fantastic. And the whole philosophy of the black and the white combination coming together is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So my default was to that.
Okay. Yep.
Now, I'm old.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is crazy. I didn't know that.
My honorable mention or my other one pick.
Your plus one that just gets thrown
My
in.
plus one is, before Denzel, the one of the top leading African American actors was Billy D. Williams.
Oh, okay.
And
I vaguely know of him.
Billy D. Williams was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. And if you haven't watched this show, Paul, now there are most of the football shows out there get a little bit of a heart pull once in a while, and like, oh, that's like I mentioned, Replacements, a little romantic kind of thing. That's awesome.
Right.
If you haven't watched Brian's Song,
Okay.
Brian's Song will bring tears to your eyes.
Brian's Song.
Brian's Song.
Okay.
Billy D. Williams plays Gale Sayers, one of the all-time favorite running backs or best running backs in the league back in his day for the
Nice.
Chicago Bears. Brian Piccolo ends up, I don't want to say because I guess It came out in 1971. So it's been 54 years ago that this show came out.
Sure.
But
When
I
you
won't
say
ruin
show,
it for
are
you.
Are you referring to a film or are you referring to a TV show?
It's an actual movie.
Okay, so it's a film, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I won't spoil the ending because I do think that if you get a chance to watch it, and
Is it like a big concert where Brian sings his song or something?
it's Brian Piccolo sings a song. Wow. so not that. But any listeners out there, we all want feedback anyway. So anything we talk about through any of the processes here and our topics here, please let us know. But if you haven't seen Brian's song, and if you please find it, watch it. If you don't cry, I cried more at Brian's song than when Old Yeller died.
Oh my God, that's a hard standard to beat.
Old Yeller had rabies.
Right.
He's supposed to die, right?
He was a beloved family dog right there, you know?
He was, but he was supposed to die. He had rabies. It's the thing to do.
Right.
But no, if you really want to watch a movie, it's a heart pick. Watch
There you
Brian's
go.
song. It is a phenomenal movie. So
Mm-hmm.
other ones out there that are some of the top ones that the show was listing was The Blind
Right.
Side.
Yep, that's a good
The
honor.
Blind Side. Yep.
Yep.
I love how he supposedly stopped the airbag from hitting. the
Oh my
little-
God, yeah,
little
he's
boy.
like, oh yeah.
What the hell, really? I am not a Notre Dame fan,
Okay.
so I never really watched it. But Rudy is a movie that gets very, very high acclaims out there, so that's kind of nice.
Okay.
Jerry Maguire. Remember the line from there, Paul? Do you know the line from Jerry Maguire?
Oh no.
Tom Cruise movie?
Okay, I can picture Tom Cruise in the movie.
If I say, show me
The money.
the money,
Yeah.
show me the money. That's from Jerry Maguire.
Okay. Okay.
Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Really.
Billy Bob Thornton.
I always think that name's just made up, you know.
He's a phenomenal actor. I love him also, but another good show. I don't know The Express. It was about, I didn't see it, but it's about the first African American Heisman Trophy winner. His name's failing me. Shoot. But anyways, it's another really good show.
Okay.
The Longest Yard,
Yep.
the original or remake out there, is really good.
Yeah.
And We Are Marshall. After the whole Marshall football team was involved in the plane crash and they all died.
Right.
So those are some of the top movies. But you chose Replacements. I chose Remember the Titans, and then I did a 1-1 with Brian's song.
Yeah, absolutely. And you want to know why I chose The Replacements? Because of all
Bunt
of the one-liners. Yeah, look,
Bunt cake.
bunt cake.
The one-liners up there are phenomenal, so that's always good. And
Right.
rest in peace, Gene Hackman recently
Oh.
passed away. So.
Dang. Yep. R.I.P.
So, all right, Pablo, play the outro music and let's get out and enjoy this nice spring day.
Absolutely.
As always, we want to thank you as supporting us. And you just told me, Paul, that we've had our downloads increase quite a bit. So
Yeah,
we love that.
we've had a little uptick recently. which
I
has
love it.
been-
I love it.
Yep.
So, anyways, as always, we want to thank you for listening to our show and the official EFF podcast.
Mm-hmm.
As always, my name is Todd. His name is Pablo.
Yep.
And do
Make
all
sure
those
to-
things.
I was about to say, yeah, make sure to check us out on all of our social media, which we've got above Todd's head, and then all of our Apple Podcast, Spotify, Podbean, and iHeartRadio.
Yeah. And our next bonus topic will be on auction drafts. So anybody out there
Nice.
who has done an auction draft in the past, check us out. We'll be making that coming up soon. So with all that being said, as I always say, when life gives you a chance, you make it happen. Peace, Pablo. Have a good day. Bye, everybody.